Welcome, one and all. Today is Thursday, November 12th, 2015, and this is Mastermind call number 51. And just to reiterate what I was saying before the call began, anytime you want to get into the question queue, hit *6 and then make sure you hit 1 afterwards. Wendy Handy, if you're on the call, would you hit *6 and then hit 1? I guess she is not here. Partners, anything you want, any company news you want to share this week? We'll start with Tim.
No, I really don't have anything. We're just working away and glad to see our subscriber list continuing to grow. And more importantly, I'm glad to see more and more people coming on and telling us all the good stuff that they're doing and having the successes that they're having. I think it's great. And obviously, we continue to work hard to make sure we provide more and more good things for you.
Chad, did you get muted out?
No, I somehow got booted off. I just dialed back in.
All right, well, welcome back. You dialed back into the question and answer queue. So, Chad, I was going to ask if you had a comment. If you have a comment or a question, go ahead. Anything you want to add?
Just that, guys, you should have saw an email yesterday. For those of you who are subscribers, we have the November Probate Mastery is starting on. We actually moved to Mondays. I had a conflicting time on one of the Tuesdays, so we will run the next 3 Mondays from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And you should, if you did see that email, you can always go to the webpage at alltheleads.com under the system, education, and training. You can sign up for any of our training programs. But the group training will start on Monday afternoon and run through the end of the month.
Excellent. And, Chad, I had at least 3 or 4 people email me or call me this week, wanted to know how they join the Facebook group. And would you just explain that, the open Facebook group and the closed Facebook group, tell people where to find them and how to join if they're not already members?
Yeah, so there's a direct link from the subscriber resources area. If you go all the way to the bottom of the page, there's a screenshot of our Facebook group and a link to join. You can also do it by just going to your Facebook profile and in the search bar in the top left, just type in All the Leads Mastermind, Mastermind being one word, and then just request access, and that will prompt us to one of us to let you guys in.
Yeah, there's some great information in there. It's just a great forum. You know, we encourage you to exchange ideas, exchange techniques that work, and we encourage that on this call also. And share referrals with each other. You know, short sales. You can tell where my background is. Yeah, short sales would be fine, but whether they're probate deals or regular transactions, mastermind and share leads with like-minded people, and that's a great place to do it. Again, guys, we've had a bunch of people in the last 30 seconds that have signed on. This is an open forum call. We really don't want to make it into a lecture, and it's not a commercial for our company, so please, we got a ton of people on this call. Someone or multiple numbers of you must have some questions, some comments, some issues. Anything you want to share with us, anything is open. It's an open forum. Just hit *6 and then hit 1, and you'll get put into the queue and you'll get unmuted, and you can share your win with the group. While we're waiting for someone to get into the queue, I'm assuming that Wendy Handy is not on the call. Wendy, if you are, would you hit *6 and then hit 1? She had sent us an email that she was kind of iffy if she was going to be able to make it, but she had a great win this week. She said, I'm going to try to make the call tomorrow, but it's 50-50. She's probably off taking a listing. She said I wanted to share a couple of successes since I started really working the leads. And Chad, she's gotten the leads for a while, but it took her a while to start working them. Is that what she's alluding to?
Yeah, she's been with us for, I think, 4 months, and she just finished. She was in the October Mastery class, and I think that was enough to really get her confident about it, and she just pulled the trigger and did exactly what she knew she should have done. And what do you know? She got almost $2 million in listings and sales out of it.
Yeah, she said, I actually started working the leads, which that is a key, guys. Just getting them doesn't bring you any business. And she said, I did my first probate listing, a $1.4 million oceanfront home. And I'm going on a listing appointment Monday from someone that got my letter about his father-in-law's home. And she doesn't say what happened with that, but she said because he got my letter, he's interviewing me for his $589,000 home, and she's also working on a smaller deal with an investor. So we like to hear things like that, guys. We like people to take action. If you take action, you're going to get results. And don't sit on these leads. It's very frustrating for us, the number of people that buy them and don't do anything with them. You know, you got involved in this program for a reason, and you're on the call today for a reason. So please share with us your concerns, your issues, your challenges, anywhere you're getting stuck. Chad, while we're waiting for our first questioner, again, *6 and hit 1, guys. We got to have some questions. We've got a ton of people on this call. Somebody must have something they need help with. Would you, again, I don't think we can go over this too many times, start, as far as the resources available, start with the Fast Track videos, and then if you would, explain the Probate 101 that you just put together, and then finish up with the Probate Mastery. And if we get a question, I'll chime in and let you know. But I think that's something that I don't think that's any of those things that we can talk about too much.
Okay.
Okay. Please.
Well, guys, if you are a new subscriber, or if you're a subscriber who hasn't done this, the first thing you should do is log into alltheleads.com, all the way on the right, and go to subscriber resources. And what you'll see there is we've reorganized and kind of condensed everything, all the free training that you need to be successful is organized into a 5-step program. And you need to go through those in order from step 1 to step 5 and follow those Fast Track videos. Now, different people have different learning styles. Some people aren't as big a geek as I am, and I get that. So it was designed in such a way that if you want to skip steps and just download the attachments and get to work, you can do that. If you want to watch an hour and a half worth of videos to really understand the concepts, those tools are there. So that's what we call our Fast Track training. All that's free. It's in subscriber resources, constantly evolving and getting better. That's where you'll find the campaign outline, the letters that we use, the voicemail scripts, initial call conversation, role plays, just anything that you could need to be successful. The course that Jim just mentioned that I just finished is called Probate 101. And that's something that, and quite frankly, we haven't done a very good job at educating people about probate before they become subscribers. We've always assumed, I've always assumed that if somebody comes to us and subscribes to Probate Leads, they've obviously they understand what it is and how it works and all that. Well, what I've found is I'm wrong. And so many of our clients just don't know where to start. They get excited about probate because they can see the opportunity, but they don't quite understand the probate process. They don't quite they don't see the whole opportunity and how they can provide value and benefit from that. So that's what Probate 101 is about. It is looking at the what is probate and really looking at the legal aspects of probate and the procedural aspects of it. So what happens in what order, what are the executor's responsibilities, things like that. And then also looking at the potential and the opportunity in this niche over the next 4 decades. Over $136 trillion in wealth will transfer in the next 40 years, with over 80% of that being locked up in real estate assets. So we're about to hit an exponential curve of baby boomers' end of life, and those assets trading hands. And what that training is, it's really to show you the opportunity how to become more valuable as a real estate professional and provide even more value than that by surrounding yourself with a great team and kind of treating this like a community service, not a magic bullet to get a listing here and a listing there. So that's Probate 101. That's going to be free to everybody. We'll give that out to anyone who's a subscriber. You'll see a 3-part email series. I break it down into 3 parts because in our beta testing, I put everybody to sleep in one long video. Just kidding, but it's really good stuff. I think it's stuff that you definitely haven't seen elsewhere, and it'll really help help drive home, what this looks like over the next 10 years. For the folks that are really taking this seriously and getting established in their marketplaces, they see that potential. And even if they're doing 1 deal or 2 deals a month now, they know what's coming down the line. They know that this is a niche that can basically feed them all the way through retirement. So Probate 101 will help everybody see that opportunity.
And Chad, the first 2 things you mentioned are absolutely free, and it's the first is the how-to, and that's really all you need to get started. The second is the what, so you have a better understanding of what the process is, and both of those are included with your subscription. I just wanted to make that clear.
Yeah, and we honestly, guys, we give away more than most people charge for. I try to give everything I can. We have the highest level of training we offer is called Probate Mastery, and I teach that in a group setting. On a monthly basis, we do a group, like a 3-session group training for $250, and also do that one-on-one. And I think I'm working with 4 or 5 different people this week on one-on-ones. What that really is for is the people that really see the opportunity and really want to shorten the learning curve as quickly as possible and get this implemented. So you can learn from my mistakes and everything I've learned. So it's a much deeper dive on everything that we teach in Probate Mastery. Stuff that you can't really get in just making videos and sitting on a website. And the one-on-one, highly customized. It's we look at your business and your goals and why you're in probate, and then merge that into what you're currently doing. But if you look on the education and training page, you can see kind of a course outline for that. It's 3 sessions. Session 1 and 2 run about an hour each, and then session 3, depending on how much fun we have, will run 90 minutes to 2.5 hours, depending on how much role play. But typically around 4 hours or so of training. So.
Excellent. And we do have a question. Thank you. Someone texted me a question, area code 208, and I'm going to unmute you. I'll read it if you don't want to ask it, but hang on just a second. Area code 208.
Hey, you there?
I am here. Were you having trouble getting through as a question?
I was. *61. So no worries.
Okay,
hey, thanks for having me.
Thank you. I don't know what's going on there, but thank you. Go ahead.
No worries. So this is Randall Diaz. I'm out of Coeur d'Alene, North Idaho. Hope you guys are well. I'm really excited about this, and I wanted to know if anybody on the call is really actively working sort of the attorney network, going down to the courthouse, making yourself known, or building out a vendor network. I know some folks would probably want to just focus on just the deal, but I was curious how robust your sort of probate network is right now, and if you've had any big wins just in terms of networking that community.
Well, I can answer that for a couple of our subscribers we've had on the calls before. We certainly encourage our subscribers to, that's why we furnish, obviously, the attorney info, and we encourage you to take a look at it, and almost in every case you'll see that the same attorney is representing multiple people, and you may have 2 or 3 attorneys that are representing clumps of folks, and those are great targets for you to go spend some time with. I know that we've had on previous calls where we've had callers who've called in and said, I sent my letters out, I did this, and I got referred back to an attorney, and what they do is that obviously they spend their time working that attorney as well, and now that attorney is referring people to them because, quite frankly, an attorney is a guy that is looking to do the right things by his customers as well, just like you are. And what ends up happening is if you can make it clear to that attorney by your actions and by the investment that you make in it and by the credibility that you build, that attorney is going to be looking for somebody to potentially refer someone to if there's real estate in that probate. And if you can become that person, that go-to guy or gal that attorney thinks of, and you're top of mind when that happens, that's what you got to do. So there definitely are people that are doing that. It's why we give you the information, and we actually have just created last week, and we're testing in one market an attorney letter that we send out from our Mailbox Motivator program specifically to an attorney list, and we'll let you know how that comes out. We've got one client who asked us to do that. we did, and if it works out well, then we'll make that available to everybody, and we suspect that it will. But definitely that's there for a reason. Now, obviously, we encourage you to focus all your energy on that personal representative to start with, because that's the person that can sell that house. But working that attorney list is the long-term play.
Yeah, I think Paul Hayhurst in Florida and Sandra in Texas were probably, he sent out 150 letters his first month. I think he got 6 listings, and he noticed 2 of them were the same attorney. So, he called, introduced himself to the attorney, said, hey, I noticed you specialize in probate, so do I. Do you have a go-to agent that you recommend? And it took a few calls. It took a little bit of, like Tim said, building credibility. And the attorneys are, for the most part, folks, they don't automatically recommend an agent because they're afraid if the agent doesn't do a good job, it's going to reflect badly on them. So it's a little, we always recommend call the executor first, get that property listed. But then, yes, take the time to reach out to the attorney, and it's a longer process, but it can pay off with huge dividends. I know Chad, probably the one who put together the most effort for that was Sandra in Texas, and she actually put together a package that I think she overnighted to the attorneys who were players, and then she scheduled an appointment with them, and she treated that with as much energy as she did the executors. And she hasn't been on a call in a while, but last we talked to her, she was doing as well or better with the attorneys as she was with the executors. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. I don't know if are you still unmuted, questioner, or did you go away? For some reason, I don't see him anymore, but hopefully we answered the question. And if anybody else has that problem that you hit *6 and then you hit 1 and you're not getting through, we're going to figure out what's going on with that. Text me your question, 954-328-9370, and I'll find your phone number and I'll just manually unmute you like I did for that gentleman.
And Jim, I want to add one other thing just in regard to the attorney side of it. We obviously feel it's important, that's why we include it, and giving you every possible method we can come up with to contact the people that are responsible for probate's good. But we also have added a feature to the credibility website that we provide as an option. So if you look online, you'll notice that it's there, and we have an attorney area on that which does a couple of things. First off, it shows that you are committed and you're working not only with them but multiple attorneys, gives you credibility in your marketplace that you're serious about it. And our frequently asked questions in a lot of cases are questions that have been run through various sources that pull that data down, and they have very clear explanations of how you deal with probate should you choose to go do that. And we have the same things on our website. We provide a lot of information that will really educate you about what you're doing, and obviously Chad's training will help you do that as you go forward. But anything that you can do to provide a credible answer to an attorney, they're looking for good answers about things, and like Jim said, they're not particularly inclined necessarily to refer somebody if they don't know they work well. So do something to build that up. And even if you work with someone who has an attorney and you're already taking that listing, one of the things you may want to do is ask them who the attorney is that's representing them in this transaction, and make sure that you reach out to the attorney maybe as you take that deal down and contact them and just let them know what's going on and let them know that you're there. And that's a great way to do it because you've already got a built-in testimonial right there. You've taken that listing, you've sold that property for that person. That's a great way to let that attorney know you get the job done.
And 208, you're back. I don't know what's going on with our site here. Did you have any follow-up to that question, or did we answer it?
No, yeah, thank you. This is Raniel Diaz, Coeur d'Alene. Thanks again. I appreciate it. The other question really was more on your client side, how vast their sort of vendor networks are, because as we go down the road and want to kind of represent ourselves as an expert in sort of that probate transaction piece. I mean, how many of the folks already have like a cash investor that's waiting in the wings, an estate buyer, hauling services, just sort of that all-in-one, or people primarily just focused on trying to get a listing with some kind of light referral networks? I'm just curious about how robust people are playing this.
Most people, and I highly encourage people to provide more options than you'll ever use, because the perceived value of that, those two things, it really differentiates you against any competition. So if you send mail as an agent that offers multiple solutions, one of which is a cash offer, and there's 10 investors sending letters, guess what? You're going to shine through, and they're just going to be lost in a pile. And we hear that almost weekly. I hear somebody say, listen, I took this listing, and there was, they said they'd gotten 5 letters from investors, but they called me first. So it's a big differentiation piece, but it's also a way to really, bring the most value. So the key players, we recommend estate sale companies, really good closing attorneys who will stick with your deals if the going gets tough, clean out crews, contractors, and you can expand on that. This is not an inclusive list. One of the ideas that I've been sharing with some of the folks, in doing the Probate 101, I learned that in an industry study, less than 30% of financial advisors address end-of-life finance with their clients. So that means 7 out of 10 families who inherit money probably don't know much about wealth preservation because it wasn't in a trust. It went through probate, and nobody's guiding them. That 30% of those financial advisors stick with the heirs and say, here, let's preserve this wealth or reinvest this money. The other 70% don't. So that's just one example that we don't necessarily teach in the fast track and stuff, but it would be great to have a financial advisor that can step in and say, listen, I know you're working with Chad and he's helping you with the real estate, but just wanted to make sure that you guys understand all the options you have, when this thing closes, and I can show you some ways to preserve that. And you're just going to blow their socks off because no one's going to expect a realtor to do that. They're going to expect a realtor to want a listing and ask for a listing and do this and do that. So what we teach and what most everybody follows is you lead with value and you provide a number of options and remind them that it's their choice which ones they choose. And I think it's safe to say that 99% of our folks do that. They focus on building a team around this first before they go out.
Excellent. I was going to add one other idea that came up a couple calls ago that I thought was brilliant. One of the gentlemen on the call mentioned that he ran into a number of the properties that by the time he got notice of the probate that they already had a contract, and it wasn't a lot, but it was several, and he found out that they had gone to a nursing home, a long-term care facility, and someone there had recommended a realtor to him. So the family, made arrangements before the death to sell the property. So he said he was going to start going out, and if he's on the call, hit *6 and 1. I'd like to know how you're doing with that. I thought it was a great idea. But that is another vendor another person, another organization you can reach out to. These nursing homes, these long-term care facilities, hospice centers, even places that sell life estates to people, and say, you a lot of times when people, get space in your place, they have a property they want to sell. Do you have someone you recommend? Just like the attorneys. So I thought that was a brilliant idea also. And, you'll catch those before they even get filed for probate. You'll have them listed already. We do have another question, and area code 602, you are unmuted. Thank you for texting me.
Yes. Hi, Jim. This is Tracy. How are you?
Hey, great, Tracy. How
Good.
you doing? I'm
good. So I'm one of those culprits that has purchased some leads and not done anything with them yet, so I'm starting to make some progress. Yeah.
Well, thank you. It's like Non-Prospectors Anonymous. Welcome, Tracy. Tell us your story.
So my next step that I'm getting ready to embark on is getting set up with the auto dialers. I have my letters set up so that I can upload them to you guys, and then I want to obviously time my auto dialers with that. Can you talk a little bit more about which companies you might recommend using? I know there are several, and what that setup process is like.
Certainly. Chad, you want to take that one, or you want me to?
No, I'll take it. So okay. There's three that we have used and had different members of success with. I'll start with Call Loop, which is basically just a recording software, so it's not a ringless voicemail. So when you answer the phone, it plays a recording. That is about 4 cents each, and you get incredibly high deliverability because basically any phone that is picked up it will play the message to. My personal opinion on that is it's not very professional, and I personally just hate them when somebody sends me one of those. But we have had people that had a lot of success and made a lot of money off of it. It's very cheap, and you have very high deliverability rates. The next one is Sly Broadcast, which is a ringless voicemail software, and it rings just to cell phones. And you're going to get probably, on our list, like what we've looked at, it's probably 30 to 40% deliverability to cell phones. It's not going to go to landlines. That is, Jim, I believe they're around 4 to 5 cents each for those.
Yeah, depending on the volume, you can get it down as low as like 3.2 cents a piece. But if it starts at about 5 and goes down to 3.2, depending.
And they only charge you for connections. They're not charging you to try.
Right. It doesn't go through. You don't pay.
And then the last one is it's called Voice Casting as the product. The company is Voice Logic. And that's the one I choose, and I use mainly because they have real live customer service and they're super friendly. You do pay more for that one. They're around 14 cents per, and they call it per minute, not per dial. So you're 14 cents each there with a minimum of $30. So if you're calling less than 180 people, it's always going to be $30. What I like the most about them is they have one-on-one customer support. You pick up a phone and direct dial a person that's the same person each time. And that in my experience, they've had a lot higher deliverability for me. When I tested it, I was at about 30% with Sly, and I usually ranged around 80% with voice casting. So those are the options. They range, anywhere from just a recording playing to a ringless voicemail, and the pricing anywhere from 3.5 to 14 cents each. And if you look there's everything that I just said is in a kind of a comparison table that I made. If you find the campaign outline and subscriber resources, I made a table in there that explains each of these things, all the stuff I just talked about, and it has links to each of the websites.
Excellent.
Okay, and getting set up is a pretty simple, easy process, just uploading the CSV file.
Yep, so you'll call a number and record a message, and then you'll upload a CSV file. You submit an order, and they execute it for you.
Great, that sounds simple.
All right, excellent. And then, Tim, you had some support issues that you wanted to talk about, correct?
Well, I want to, in our constant quest to make sure we're doing the right thing and giving everybody the best info we can, when you need to contact us about anything, whether it's a question, whether it's, in between these calls, certainly we encourage you to get on the live call and ask it so everybody can hear it at the same time. That's great. But, in between these calls, if you've got questions or you've got questions about your account or billing or anything at all that's going on, make sure you send an email to us and send it to support@alltheleads.com. It's a central repository. We actually track that. We've set up some pretty strong back-end computer processing that makes sure that as that information comes through, it's disseminated to the right people. You get the quickest answer that way, and it also becomes something that we can look at, and if it's a question that we get frequently, we'll add it to our frequently asked questions. So you're not only helping yourself, but you're helping the community to make sure that we continue to improve and do better. And we're going to be a great big family of folks here, and we want to make sure we're offering you the best support. So again, if you got any questions, send them to support@alltheleads.com, and we'll get right back to you quickly, and you'll get a response during business days. It'll happen typically during the same day, as long as we've had some time to take a quick look at it. So thank you for that, and just make sure that you send it to support@alltheleads.com.
And, Tim, I was looking at that this morning. Our average response time right now is about 28 minutes.
Yep.
So set high expectations, but it's rare that somebody and you guys, I'm the initial contact with all of you, and I understand you have my phone number. Of my 3 amazing partners, I am the least techie. So when somebody calls me with a technological question, I'm not going to be able to help you. If it's sales related, Chad's the best person. If it's tech, it's Tim. If it's customer service, it's Tom. And we now have other employees. But the best way to get the right person to call you back the quickest is what Tim just said. You don't need to call anybody. Just send an email to support@alltheleads. All of us will read it, and the person who's best able to handle it will get right back to you, usually immediately. Excellent. Well, guys, we are at exactly 30 minutes. That worked out good. I thank you so much. We're going to figure out what's going on. I do have one more announcement, so don't anybody hang up yet. We're going to figure out what's going on with the question glitch, but I'm glad that those of you that had questions were able to text them in today. Thank you for that. I did want to announce that next Wednesday at 2 o'clock Eastern, we are going to do our third monthly role play call, and you're going to call into the same number. That is next Wednesday, the 18th, at 2 p.m. Eastern. Just use the same phone and the same call-in code. And for those of you that haven't been on them, this is less theory and more practice. If you have any places that you're getting stuck, if you're getting asked questions that you're kind of stumbling, if you're just not real comfortable with either the ingoing or the outgoing scripts or the conversations you're getting into, or if you just want to learn, come on the call. And we've had two so far, and we've had some really good questions. And it's kind of interesting. So far, it hasn't really been things that have been coming up, but it's just been people's fears about what somebody might say. So at least when you are well armed and you're well equipped and you pretty much know how to give them a coherent, confident answer, your sales conversion rates are going to go way up. So please call into that call next week. Tim, Tom, anything else you want to add today? Chad?
Not me. Have a great week.
All right, everybody. Go ahead, Chad. We good?
Nope.
All right. I always end these calls by challenging you guys. Take one idea. First of all, thank you for showing up today, taking 30 minutes out of your lives. We hope you got some value from it. And I always challenge you to take one idea, one inspiration, one thought, one new method that you got from today's call, and go out and implement it, and come back next Thursday and let us know your success. So you guys, you know where we're at between now and next Thursday. Thank you very much, and make it a great week, guys. Thanks for showing up.